Hello and welcome to episode 3 of this series. We're in Sochi, Russia today at the Sochi Autodrome for round 4 of the season. Round 3 obviously was at China. The recording got lost. I cannot retrieve the recording anymore. It's unfortunate, but we have to live with it. Hamilton won that race to go top of the championship. Rosberg second, Vettel finished third. After going for a risky strategy late on in the rain when everyone else went to Inters, remaining on the mediums. As you can probably tell, did not work out. It's unfortunate. But this race, as you can read in the title, early crash changes to the championship. Big drama. Let's see how it goes. As we go to 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Daniel Ricciardo gets a really good start over the two Mercedes, and going into turn 1 there's contact between the Red Bull and the Mercedes, and both the Mercedes are out. And that's only a virtual safety car somehow. Not like they're in the middle of the track or anything. It's just a virtual safety car apparently. His commentary, yes. Yes. And that is a big crash. I forgot English for a second. But we are gonna skim through a little bit of this race. We're gonna watch Daniel Ricciardo now, because we are back racing again. And we are going to spectate that as Kimi Raikkonen goes for a move into turn 2. And Raikkonen makes the move stick on Daniel Ricciardo. And Raikkonen starting pull away a little bit after making the move. Daniel Ricciardo still with a little bit of a gap to his teammate Max. Well, we're going to continue to watch how this race goes. Daniel Ricciardo continuing to chase down Kimi Raikkonen, and as we can see, Sebastian Vettel already growing a massive gap at the front here. Vettel is certainly most likely to win this race today unless something drastic goes wrong for him. What we see as Daniel Ricciardo continues to chase down Kimi Raikkonen with his teammate Max Verstappen, and then Valtteri Bottas in the Williams. An unlikely candidate to be fighting for a possible podium here today in Russia. But that is what's happening. We go into lap 3 and it all just remains the same. We're going to spectate this battle for P4 though, because Bottas is closing in on Verstappen quite a bit here. As we continue to skim through the majority of this race, as well, there wasn't really a battle for the win, so we just gotta find other parts to commentate. Dropping back a little bit. We have a good battle, 4-car battle here going on. Let's spectate this battle a little bit. If there's actually any battling. Well, there's actually a couple of good battles here. The problem with the Sochi Autodrome track is, the later you get into the race, all the cars seem to spread out quite a bit, and it gets very... I suppose it gets a little bit boring to watch as the Haas goes for a dive bomb, and the Haas makes a dive bomb on the McLaren. And that's interesting as we go back up to the leaders once again. How far in the leaders? That's that far? Yeah, it's that far, sorry. We'll just have a look, and Sebastian Vettel really starting to pull away now. As we go, we spectate the two Red Bulls as Max Verstappen has DRS on Daniel Ricciardo. Will Verstappen go for a move? No, he does not go for a move. Valtteri Bottas of the Williams still just sitting in behind them, waiting to see what they will do in this race. Very smart from the Finn. As we continue to race through this race. Now Raikkonen, as we can see, if we go on board, is starting to pull away from us behind, as his teammate Vettel is That's a good solid 15 or so second, 10 maybe? 10 seconds gap? Americans got a 3 to 4 second gap over Daniel Ricciardo. Max Verstappen closing in. And Bottas is playing the smart game here, Valtteri. He's not committing to any moves, but he's still sitting close enough where he can just gauge out when the time is right to make a move on one of these Red Bulls ahead of him. Obviously behind we have battle between the two Force Indias and the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz. So one of the... It does seem like one of us, not Aston, sorry, one of the Force Indias is starting to drop off quite a bit here. This, I think, Esteban Gutierrez dropping off. I might be wrong, but I think Gutierrez dropping off. We're gonna ride on board with Gutierrez a bit to see. Is it a problem with the car or lack of pace here? And Gutierrez continues to push. Of course. And as we can see here, in a shock turn of events when we've been watching Gutierrez, Valtteri Bottas has made it past the two Red Bulls. And Daniel Ricciardo, we were getting over the radio, had a problem with the car. And Ricciardo is going to be starting to lose out a little bit on Valtteri and Max. Especially through Sector 2 where there is no real DRS apart from the long straight near the end of Sector 2. But as we see Verstappen in the pits early. Now Verstappen in the pits, I mean Vettel's going into turn 2 now and Kimi's only just coming into turn 1 roughly. No, Vettel's in turn 3 as Kimi exits turn 1, that's a crazy gap which they've built up. But we are going to ride on board with Gutierrez once again. As we hear Gutierrez's tyres are getting very worn out early on in this race, the super softs not lasting as long as his team would hope for, so would that be a problem? He's lost a lot of time to Carlos Sainz here, Esteban Gutierrez. Is there a problem with the engine of the Force India? That's a big question, and he's losing time to Romain Grosjean now. It'll be interesting if Grosjean can catch. And coming round the corner goes Gutierrez. Well, obviously there's about 19 corners on this track for him to go around, so that was a bit obvious that he's going around the corner. And Max Verstappen remains just behind Valtteri Bottas, but Bottas is starting to open the gap up a little bit to Valtteri, and I think, sorry, Valtteri is starting to open the gap up to Max, I mean, and I think Valtteri is closing that gap to Kimi Räikkönen too. It seems like it is, we can see. Yeah, we have maybe half a grid roughly. Gutierrez continues to push, and Gutierrez is really starting to lose out on time now. There's got to be something wrong with his car here. There has to be something wrong with the car. There's no way there's not something wrong with the car. He's losing out on time to his teammate, Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz. And then he's also losing out on time to Romain Grosjean and the Hasselhoff. I think that's Jensen Button, or it might be Fernando Alonso behind. Let's continue to ride on board with the Mexican, the Sahara Force India driver. See if we can work out why the car is losing so much pace. He's definitely losing time, gradually. Gradual, but it's happening. And let's see if we can work out why. And Esteban Gutierrez is definitely losing out on time now, because Max Verstappen is pushing and pushing, and Max Verstappen is closing in on Esteban Gutierrez now. Verstappen obviously on fresher tyres, but still, the gap is closing. And Verstappen, oh, as we can see, Verstappen here goes for a move, and Gutierrez makes contact with him, and Gutierrez pushes him wide. And Verstappen is basically forced off the track by Esteban Gutierrez here. Gutierrez into the pits he goes. And we will now spectate, as we can see Kimi Raikkonen, by the looks of it, gaining on Sergio Perez. And we'll ride on board with Sebastian Vettel for a little bit. Do you suppose? Right now we have Sebastian Vettel P1, Valtteri Bottas P2, Kimi Räikkönen's up to P3, Sergio Perez is in P4, Max Verstappen's up to P5, P6 is Jensen Button, P7 Fernando Alonso, all the other way around, P8 Carlos Sainz, P9 looks like Julian Palmer, P10 Esteban Gutierrez. And we have a Renault Toro Rosso and a Force India here battling, and Gutierrez makes the overtake on Carlos Sainz, and he just is too short to make the overtake on the Renault of either Palmer or Magnussen. I'm not sure which one it is who is up in points right now, but he does make the overtake now. And we'll now ride on board with Carlos Sainz to see what happens for this next bit of the race. Sainz is pushing. And Esteban Gutierrez had to pull away from these two now. Now we are starting to get a very, very good battle here. Carlos Sainz locks up a little bit, but that's fine. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6. It's almost a 6-car battle here for one place. We are spectating the Sainz battle here. Now has the Williams behind him. We can work out which Williams that is, but it is a Williams. I can confirm that much. And we are coming up to the halfway point in this race now. As we go around some corners near the end of the track, we go into the penultimate and the Williams is in the pits. But we continue to race. And let's have a look up near the front. Vettel's closing to lapping Danny Kvyat right now. He's still miles ahead of his teammate Kimi. Max is P3 with Checo P4 and Valtteri P5. Actually right on board with Valtteri for a bit because Valtteri is closing down on Sergio Checo Perez right now. This could be an interesting battle for P4 in this race if Valtteri gets to move off. Just to point out, Sebastian Vettel has been leading that much in the race that he had a pit stop and came out 32 seconds ahead of his teammate, Kimi Raikkonen. That is the gap which Sebastian Vettel grew in the first 17 laps of this Grand Prix. And Valtteri goes for the move on Perez, and Perez is dropped down to P5 now, as Valtteri seems to be, Valtteri is already pulling away. The Williams has so much more pace. What's India? The Williams has so much more pace than we expected them to have here. And Valtteri Bottas is already closing that gap to Max Verstappen like it's nothing here in Sochi. As we will once again look for a battle on the track which we can spectate. This could be a good battle. One of the Saubers against one of the Manors, with Felipe Massa sitting in behind, ready to pounce. This could be a good battle here. And the two Renaults just behind them. As we see Bottas going one way, going the other way, Bottas thing, not Bottas, Massa. Went one way, went the other, then went the other again. And he's made the move on both of them into turn 2. As we continue, as the Sauber makes a move on the Manor car now. As we skim through, we have the race leader, 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, 7th place, 8th place, 9th place, 10th place, 11th. So we're going to look for the battle for 12th here between the Sauber and the Manor. Oh, I don't know, like halfway point. Tell him there's another like 15-20 minutes of commentary to go. As the Sauber is starting to pull away from Mano a bit, and the Renaults are ready to pounce here. As Sauber of, I think that's maybe Marcus Ericsson being this tie up in P12. Is pulling away from possibly Pascal Wehrlein is my guess. I don't mean to make any offense to Rio Haryanto, but I doubt that he has the skill to be in P13. But he's now under pressure from the first of the Renaults, and the first of the two Renaults makes a pass, but he remains on their rear wing here. As the second Renault is behind, and the second Renault is going to look for the move as well. But will he? No, he's too far back as the Renault had the RS. But he remains to start losing out a little bit of time now, and this does look to be Pascal Wehrlein, as we did hear that he has engine problems during the race. So this does seem to be fitting into being Pascal Wehrlein, and now we have Kimi. No, we have the race leader Sebastian. These drivers. No. Sebastian Vettel lapping them. Ah well. They'll eventually learn to not get lapped so easily. As we see, yes, that was a Red Bull of Max Verstappen also. Wait, that was Kimi Räikkönen lapping them, my apology. As Max Verstappen also lapped them too. Let's work this out actually. So we have Sebastian Vettel who's just lapped them. So what's Vettel with? That must mean then that, okay, Kimi Räikkönen second, Valtteri Bottas is 6th place. Apologies, that was Daniel Ricciardo overtaking them for P12. You heard me right, Daniel Ricciardo fighting for P12. Fighting his way back in this race, but we have the second Renault on the manual. Goes to the right but backs out late. And this could be a very good battle between the Renault and the Renault goes for the move into turn 2 and he makes the move stick. But will the Renault fight back? The Renault this has to be Pascal Wehrlein with engine issues right now. This must be Pascal Wehrlein with engine issues. We're in the right time of the race for him to be having the engine issues, and he's just had a complete loss of power. And now he's under threat from the Haas of... I have no idea who's in the Haas here. Maybe Romain Grosjean? Maybe not. I don't know. The Haas putting the Renault racing car under pressure, and the Haas making the move with ease. And now we have the other Haas. The other Haas also making the move with absolute ease. And the Haas overtake each other. As he continues, and he makes a move on the Renault. Maybe this is Romain Grosjean. The Grosjean we knew before Bahrain. 2020 whatever. If I can have a fact update on what year the crash was, that'd be appreciated. We have no fact update from my commentators here who you cannot hear because, well, yeah, you just can't hear them. And we're going to watch a Sauber v manual fight again for the second time in this race. This time it's the other Sauber, another manual driver. The Sauber makes the move. He went to play Fortnite with his friends. Tamina. The manual is in the pits. Let's see. Is this gonna be good stuff from manual? It's a relatively okay stuff from manual. Let's see how this. Bring them to WERL. And Kimi Räikkönen is in the pits. Räikkönen is in the pits, and Räikkönen is going on to the super soft tyres for the last quarter of this race. Surely this means Kimi Räikkönen is going for a fastest lap. It's going to be close. Valtteri Bottas just coming out behind them. Just invite them to WERL. As Räikkönen continues to push in this race. And Räikkönen, we're gonna ride on board with Kimi Räikkönen for a little bit. And we can see Kimi Räikkönen. Jesus Christ, Kimi Räikkönen is pushing like crazy. Of course, Kimi Räikkönen is going for the fastest lap, and Kimi Räikkönen is setting just a back-to-back fastest laps here in this Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen once again with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And Kimi Räikkönen is pushing like absolute crazy in this race. Sebastian Vettel is having a nice little battle with Kimi Räikkönen here. As we go on to one of the last laps of the race, with Sebastian Vettel battling Kimi Räikkönen, obviously, no sorry, not Kimi Räikkönen, Daniel Ricciardo, obviously the lapped Daniel Ricciardo, battling a driver at his former team. This is an interesting battle for at the end of the race here, as we're on the penultimate lap. as we go. Oh, sorry, that was the last lap of the Grand Prix. With Sebastian Vettel winning. Kimi Raikkonen will take P2 of this race. P3 goes to Max Verstappen. The 1-2 for Ferrari and Sochi. Vettel wins, Raikkonen second. Valtteri Bottas takes third. No, sorry, Max Verstappen takes third, with Valtteri taking fourth. Fifth and sixth for the Force Indians of Hulkenberg and Perez. Very good drives from them. Alonso makes a fantastic recovery drive up 8 places to go up to 7th place. Down to 8th place is Daniel Ricciardo. Down to 9th is Felipe Massa. 10th remains Carlos Sainz. Roman Grosjean makes it up to 11th. Kevin Magnussen up to 12th. Esteban Gutierrez, after a puncture earlier in the race, recovers to P15. Elaine Palmer up to P14. Marcus Ericsson up to P15 with Danny Kvyat down to P16. Pascal Wehrlein up to P17 with Felipe Nasr down up to P18. Up to P19 goes Rio Haryanto, although he did DNF the race unfortunately. Jenson Button with a DNF on a lap he DNF'd for P20. Then P21 and P22, Rosberg and Hamilton. The two Mercedes DNFing after that gigantic crash on lap 1 of the race. Top of the championship, Sebastian Vettel, 16 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton, 19 ahead of Nico Rosberg. And Ricardo, Kimi Räikkönen, Valtteri Bottas remains in their positions. Max Verstappen up to P7, Sergio Perez down to P8. Hulkenberg moves up to P9 with Alonso remaining P10. We have Massa down to P11, Button down to P12, Grosjean down to P13. Carlos, the last of the point scorers this season after point today, remains P14. Constructors, Ferrari, everything remains the same. However, Ferrari are within 2 points of Mercedes now at the top of the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull 51 points off Mercedes in P3. Williams, Force India, McLaren, Haas, and Toro Rosso, all of the point scoring teams. Sauber, Manor, and Renault still not to have scored a point this season. Thank you all for watching today's episode. We'll see you next time in what track will be next time. Let's have a look. What track we're looking at next time. We